Yeah, I mean, he has not missed a beat. There has never been a play that he's made that I thought to myself and went, no, I don't actually think. No, he's been perfect. He's been flawless. Now, of course, we speculated before this that, of course, Artosis would just love to win something, a tournament at BlizzCon at some point in his career. May as well be a Hearthstone one, huh?
Yeah, just winning anything would be great for him. Good Lord in heaven. What a hand. That is not going to really help him too much, but it's an amusing hand regardless. Ysera, one of the, arguably the best legendary in the game. It's really between that and Ragnaros right now, I view as the best legendary card, is in his hand.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like Bloodmage Thalnos, but
Bloodmage Thalnos is okay, but Rag is ridiculous, right?
It is.
The thing about Rag is you play it and then it kills something immediately before your opponent can even do anything. Ysera's great as well, but obviously that's not going to help him in the other game. An entire mulligan right here, and obviously for Artosis, his hand was just awful. There's nothing he was going to be able to make work out of that whatsoever.
I've got to say, though, this is the only thing that's been a tiny bit questionable for me on Artosis' side, because those Argent Protectors, especially when you are playing second, you have the coin at your advantage. It's very easy if you draw into another 2-drop to be able to just throw up, let's say, a Knife Juggler or something like that. Then turn 2, you throw up a Argent Protector, you're able to hold on to it, and you're totally fine. Now, there are a couple of considerations here. Obviously, this being a priest deck, Mr. Trump is going to have availability to a lot of removal. And we see in his deck, he's got 2 Shadow Word Pains.
Yeah, he certainly does. Shadow Word Pain, 2 Shadow Word Pains and a Shadow Word Death, which is actually what every priest deck we've seen has gone. They don't generally grab too many Shadow Word Deaths because they're a little bit situational, and the current meta doesn't focus around big creatures because of Big Game Hunter, because of Shadow Word Death. Ragnaros, the Golden Fire Lord, is sitting in the hand right there.
But the problem is not only does he have that Ragnaros, he also has a Mind Control, and he has 2 8-mana cards at this point in the game, and that's not what he wants.
Yeah. All right, so we're most likely going to see a Bloodsail Raider come out here immediately. That trades very nicely for that, and obviously playing the Argent Protector right now would be a tad bit wasteful, which is probably the reason, I think, in Artosis' mind why he tossed it in the first instance.
Yeah, no,
because
I understand.
You're basically relying on top-decking a creature that you can actually play, and if you don't do that, then you end up having to play it on its own. And a 2/2 for 2 without using that Divine Shield battle cry is ultimately something that most players just loathe to do. Sometimes you're forced into it, but you hate to do it.
Right. That's absolutely right. So, yeah, I agree with you. No, it looks like he's even going to save that pirate for a little while there, and he's actually just going to throw out the recruit for now. So he throws out well, Matt, and then Justice demands retribution right afterwards.
It does indeed. It always demands retribution. We're going to see Shattered Sun Cleric, absolutely the right buff, no question about that. Goes into that. That gives a nice, solid early board advantage to Trump right there.
No, what's really nice, though, for Trump right now, even though Artosis hasn't spent any cards and he's holding back a lot right now and he does have card advantage, on Trump's side, he's already got those guaranteed cards that he knows he wants in the later part of this game, and he's done a good job through the early part of not expending too much mana, not too many cards, and he's been able to hold on to board presence.
Yes, and that's very important. If he can hold on to that board presence when those big threats come out, that's going to be a big problem for Artosis to actually deal with. Okay, so what's he got? His possibilities are a little limited here. He's sitting on 3 mana and the coin. So we could see 2 creatures come out. We could see Bloodsail into coin, into Argent Protector, but it may not be what he wants to do. We can coin Consecration, but it will only kill 1 creature. It will weaken the other and let a 3 damage basically go through next turn. Equality is a possibility, but he's got no follow-up for it.
Right.
So ultimately, he would leave himself open to 5 damage if he did that. So let's see what he does.
Wow.
Just initiate and end turn. All right. So definitely keeping his cards close to his chest here.
Well, don't forget, he does have 2 Lay on Hands in this deck as well.
True. And
we've
really
seen those.
Kill that deck.
Yeah, we've
he
seen
hasn't
these
had to use his Lay on Hands.
Exactly.
I don't think at any point during this tournament. It's been that ridiculous. All right, Trump's sitting on a lot of nice stuff. So he's got his Power Word Shield, which might be a good play here. It gets him card draw and +2 health. He's going to use it on his more powerful creature, which I do like.
It's a good choice.
Yep, I absolutely do like that. And a Shadow Word Pain comes into his hand as well there. He's just going to trade that. Why waste the removal cards, right? There's the heal comes up, and Trump is in. Yeah, fantastic turn for Trump. Really, really good.
Absolutely. Made a very efficient use, drew a card out of it, only expended 1 of his own, healed his minions back up to full, and now he's got a pretty impressive board. And the nice part, too, is that this gets things out of the range of True Silver Champion. This would have been a pretty easy call, or could have been.
Just slaughter the 3/5, but it can't really do that right now because it won't kill the 3/5.
That's absolutely right.
In mind. He can't do a coin, even if he did this coin combination, which is coin equality into Consecration for a guaranteed board wipe, that's still a lot of cards expended to when he killed 2. So it's ultimately not maybe the best option. So he does swing for the 2/3 and kills it, and then ends his turn immediately, which I think was probably the right call there.
All right. Well, Novice Engineer pops up right now, and he's actually just going to go straight for Sylvanas. Interesting, because there is a potential for this to get killed off and not actually be able to use its Death Rattle and steal a minion.
Ouch. Aldo Peacekeeper just comes out there, actually, which is a way of doing that. I wonder what we're going to see from... We may see equality. I mean, it seems like the best option, because that would allow him to kill off Sylvanas Windrunner. Will we see the Consecration, though, instead? Because he doesn't want to take the damage? Yes, he's going to do the combo. All right, nice shutdown. That's out of the way. Artosis gets rid of that before that Death Rattle is able to do anything.
That's a great play. So for those of you who are wondering, of course, Sylvanas Windrunner is a 5-mana 5/5 that has Death Rattle, take an opponent's minion at random. So you definitely didn't want to have to deal with that.
Yep.
And right now, honestly, he could use Brewmaster and draw another card right now.
That's not a terrible idea. It is the value right here.
Yeah, there we go.
Barrel goes out, and yet another will perhaps be played. There we go. So there's yet another card coming through. Nice play there by Trump. Absolutely fine. He's going to be very happy with that. And there's no Consecration left because he just used it, so he can't just wipe the board yet again there. But are we going to see Artosis actually play a minion?
Yeah, I think we're going to here in just a second. There's not much to be able to silence, so Spellbreaker won't be used. He could load the board with very cheap minions right now if he wanted to.
I'm almost thinking Bloodsail, Argent Protector, because the buff on that Bloodsail is going to be ridiculous. Gains attack equal to your weapon. Wham bam, 6/3. There you go. And the Divine Shield to follow that one up as well. It makes it a little bit more difficult to get rid of. Of course, there is a risk that if a Shadow Madness gets top-decked here, then this is going to get really messy for Artosis very fast.
Not even Shadow Madness. We do have one Shadow Word Death sitting around as well, which will very quickly deal with the 6/3 with Divine Shield.
Yes, but the Shadow Word Death is not in his hand right now. Shadow Madness is, though.
Yes.
So what he can do with Shadow Madness is he can take control of it and attack. The question is, what would he get? That's still got a Divine Shield on it. Ultimately, the best scenario with the Shadow Madness is you steal an opponent's minion, use it to kill the other minion, but also kill the minion you stole. Because that's basically, you go two for one card, right? It's really solid removal, great on buffed creatures. But that has a Divine Shield on it, which makes it a little bit more difficult. You've got to get rid of that Divine Shield first, because otherwise it won't kill it. And even then, there's nothing on the board which is strong enough to actually kill off that 6/3.
Yeah, but to be honest, I mean, we could see a couple of things here. I mean, we could run the Novice Engineer into that the Pirate, then we'll throw the Argent Commander out there, trade with it, and Holy Smite away the 2/2 Argent Protector that would clear board and retain an Argent Commander out there, which is not a terrible play.
No, it's definitely not the worst thing ever. He's going to ping that, and yes, there we go. Argent Commander comes out. That's going to charge with its Divine Shield and immediately remove the 6/3. There's the Holy Smite for exactly that. Putting Trump in a good spot. Yeah, that was absolutely fine. Avenging Wrath comes off the top of the deck right here. Not really one he necessarily wants to be using right now. It's not the worst thing ever, certainly. But right now, he's sitting on a situation where he's got to deal with a 4/3. What has he got which can deal with it? The only thing he's actually got right now which will kill it is the Avenging Wrath. And that's still a little random. It might not. We've, of course, seen that in previous games where Avenging Wrath actually missed it, didn't do the 3 damage it needed. Statistically, it's likely that it will, but you can't trust that at all. Aldo Peacekeeper would take it down to a 1/3 and effectively remove the threat from the board.
Exactly, and I think we can see an Argent Protector here in a second just to drop a shield on top of that 3/3 in a moment.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, because there's not too much else that's out there. He can do that, and he can throw another recruit out at the same time. Just looking back at our priest deck right now, I mean, he's got a lot of individual removal. He's got a lot of card draw, and obviously has all of those mind control cards, but not a lot that's going to be able to significantly impact that board otherwise. So this is a great play from Artosis.
Yep, all right, Artosis regains board control after struggling in the early game here. However, we're getting to the point where crazy things can be played. Mind control is available. This is the nice thing, though. Youthful Brewmaster is available. Yes. That's going to remove that Aldor debuff. It's going to allow him to play it with a shield with charge yet again. However, he also has things like Shadow Madness. He has a Mind Control, but I wouldn't use it yet on anything that's there. It's not really worthwhile. He also has a solid creature in the form of an Injured Blade Master, which is surprisingly good value, especially in a Priest deck. So ultimately, he's going to be able to get rid of a lot of the stuff that's currently on this board.
Yeah, I mean, he could Youthful Brewmaster and get the Argent Protector back, but that's not great for him.
It's
He could
very
actually ping
heavy
out
mana cost. That's the problem. Like, yes, you can do that, but it's the only thing he can do this turn.
Right. I mean, not necessarily to even play the Argent Commander again, though. Like, he can ping out one of the 1/1s, throw the Youthful Brewmaster, and pull back the Argent Commander, load up the board with an Injured Blademaster, and heal it up a bit just to make sure it stays around for a little while. And then he could play the Argent Commander again on another turn.
He's thinking about Shadow Madness here, and it's okay, but again, the most powerful creature on the board is, of course, that. But he can pop it. I mean, this will get rid of it. There's the Shadow Word Pain, which goes through Divine Shield, of course, and destroys it completely. Shadow Madness for a 2/2 here. There we go. So he takes control of that, runs that into that. And
there it is.
That's pretty good. And then, he Brewmasters the other creature and steals it.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Well done.
I have actually never seen that done. That is really cool.
Okay, all right. So now the options for Artosis are quite a bit limited. He has the Tyrion sitting around.
I'm thinking Avenging Wrath here. He can't play the Tyrion against a priest with 5 cards.
Absolutely
That's
not.
just insanity. Avenging Wrath seems like the best play right now. You can get 2 creatures off the board almost guaranteed. So that seems like the way to do it. The silencers are not going to help anybody.
He could potentially take... here comes the Avenging Wrath, and he will be able to load up with
here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Not the best. Not the best.
Now,
it leaves one alive.
2 Youthful Brewmasters have already been used in this game, so it's not like that Argent Commander's going to come back.
No.
It's not like it's going to be fully buffed back up or anything.
Admit it. He's thinking of Ysera. He's thinking of Ysera. Here it is. Clears the board. Ysera is out. This is a really fantastic situation for Trump. He pulls a Nightmare 5/5 at the net. Basically, it is a gigantic power overwhelming card.
For free.
Yeah. Not only that, I mean, you can actually use it for removal as well in certain situations, but I mean, it's incredibly powerful. All right, so silencing Ysera here is a pretty good idea because Ysera every turn is going to pull a dream card. All the dream cards are great. He will silence Ysera. Okay, but that's still a 4/2 dragon on the field. 4/12 dragon on the field, which is going to trade incredibly well. And we know there's a Ragnaros. There's still a rag there.
Oh, geez. All right, so this is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Now, of course, Trump can start to just... Ysera doesn't do anything else, so he just wants to start trading out minions.
Yeah,
and
kill a 4/3 finish immediately with that as a possibility.
He could even kill the Knife Juggler if he wants to, just to make sure that it's not able to do any extra damage.
Yeah, so he's got 10 mana. I'm thinking of what potentially he actually ends up doing with this. That thing has a lot of health. There's the charge coming out. I assume he's going to use that against the 4/3 if he wants to play that.
Yes.
He does have that Dark Iron Dwarf buff available, which would actually put that Ysera up to 6, which is quite nice. I assume he's going to trade that for the 4/3 there. That makes the most sense. And then he could Argent Protect it again after he's eliminated the Spellbreaker, which would put it right back into a really good spot there. You don't really need to put a Divine Shield on Ysera because it can take so many hits it doesn't even matter.
All right, well, Argent Commander comes in, takes out the 4/3 Spellbreaker. Ysera takes out the Knife Juggler, and we have a pretty clear board once again.
Yeah, is he going to play a minion? Oh, yeah, right. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about Divine Shielding again against that 4/3, but I think the Blademaster is the better play here.
Blademaster is a good play. I don't know. I mean, I like Argent Protector and then healing Ysera up as well, to be totally honest, because that's going to give him reserve that injured Blademaster for a little while. I think both plays are fine. I don't think it really matters right now, but I don't know. I think I go with the Argent Protector route.
He's going to heal himself, and then he will end his turn. All right, so we're not going to see that. We're not going to see that Argent Protector out just yet. An Imp Master, not really going to help him that much. Lay on Hands is used for the first time. 7 healing and 3 cards from that. Gets a True Silver Champion, but he can't do anything else this turn other than summon an Initiate. It's a very expensive spell.
That's true, but it was still a reasonable draw for him, to be honest. I mean,
okay, yeah.
Sword of Justice is okay right now. I mean, he would have loved it later on when he was throwing out a lot of cheap creatures, but mostly that True Silver Champion is going to give him a lot more options going on.
Yeah, that's very true. It's still not going to kill Ysera. Ysera is going to be sticking around for a while here, but let's see where this can go. Bear in mind that Nightmare is in the hand, so if he's able to get his opponent down to a reasonable amount of health, he can do a big surprise attack there. He's just going to remove those from the board. Loot Hoarder comes out. Great. That's a great time to play it. Blade Master comes out. Yet again, great time to play it. And he heals up his Argent Commander for 1 instead of electing to heal up the Blade Master there.
And he's still saving that Argent Protector around for a while. And honestly, yes, Artosis has cards available to him. He's got more cards than his opponent.
Great, though.
No. I mean, and the problem
having
is...
2 Defenders of Argus with nothing on the field, and what are you going to do? He could go for Sword of Justice into Imp Master, then maybe use his Defender of Argus, but that is not an ideal situation.
No, absolutely not. Although it is reasonable, I will say.
I mean, he's going to do something. He can't. He already knows he can't play the Tyrion safely because he hasn't seen a single mind control come out yet.
And he's not going to concede right now, obviously.
No,
so
absolutely not. True Silver Champion comes out, so that the Blade Master's going to go down immediately. Yeah, and you might think, well, why kill the Blade Master instead of that? Because the Blade Master has the potential to be healed higher. The other guy, not so much. That 4-3 is always going to be a 4-3 unless it gets buffed. So he gets rid of that, and that leaves him with 6 mana available. I don't think he's going to want to burn his True Silver Champion yet, so he wants to keep a hold of Sword of Justice. I think he's just going to leave it, yeah.
Because if he throws at the Master, it gets killed once.
It gets killed immediately, yeah.
And it
So
receives no value whatsoever.
Yeah.
This, at least, what he can do, because he was able to clear the board a little bit, he can come back, kill the Argent Protector. Isera's still going to get in and do a little bit of damage, but then he can load the board up a little bit better, whether it's just Imp Master and Defender of Argus, or throws the Sword of Justice up there and then starts comboing out between
Make no mistake, though, by the way, guys, you're looking at the health and you're thinking, oh, Artosis is slightly ahead. No, he isn't. Not even close. The advantage is clearly in favor of Trump right now, and Trump has a great amount. This is a rag time. This is time for Ragnaros,
yes,
I feel. Here it is. Rag is on the field.
So Ragnaros is an 8/8 for 8 that cannot attack, and it deals 8 damage to a random enemy at the end of your turn, and he gave it Divine Shield.
And here it is. You have failed me, Executus.
Oh boy, Avenging Wrath isn't going to do anything here, unfortunately, and I think that is pretty much going to be it.
That's going to be game, I got to think. I mean, I think maybe he Desperation plays Tyrion Fordring, and then he gets mind-controlled in a final insult. But that's, Avenging Wrath really isn't going to help him too much here, even if you can't even kill the rat because it's got a Divine Shield on it. Oh, man, I've got to say, Trump is coming to... Artosis came to steal the secrets, and Ragnaros is not happy about it.
No.
This is not going to work out well for Artosis at all. I think he is ultimately incredibly dead here. Even if you the worst thing about it is, even if you silence Ragnaros, it becomes an 8/8 that can kill you anyway. Yeah. That's why it's a fantastic card.
All right, well, just taking a look at things. The nice thing for Artosis, though, is that he does have a 2-0 advantage right now. It looks like it's going to go to 2-1. I don't think anyone's going to debate that, but he still has 2 decks at his disposal, and we were taking a look at those before,
Some
and they
of
are
them
very
really strange.
Yeah, he's got a Warrior deck and a Priest deck, which are actually very interesting. I'd like to see the Priest mirror matchup, to be totally honest, because they're such different decks.
They are really strange.
Yeah, but that Warrior deck would be pretty interesting too. So he's just, Artosis is just kind of considering his options right now. He really doesn't have a lot that he can do, unfortunately. Looks like he throws out the Imp Master.
Yep.
Yeah, and that alone is not going to cut it.
I don't think so. This is probably not keeping him alive. It's possible if Ragnaros ends up hitting the wrong thing, it's possible that he lives another turn. Yes. But ultimately, things could turn around very quickly in Hearthstone, so you have to be a little bit careful about what you do. He's thinking about attacking, but of course that is, whatever he attacks is going to hurt him badly. So he needs to watch out for that.
Well, I mean, he probably takes out the Argent Protector here because it doesn't damage his health, and that way the Argent Protector can't just bludgeon its way through the 2/2 recruit that's sitting there. Yeah, it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Definitely the best move there for him. But Ragnaros can still kind of just bypass this nonsense entirely.
Yes.
We'll see. I mean, he stays alive ultimately for a turn here, but with a Shadow Word Pain out in the field, he's thinking about Nightmare as well. He's thinking about possible mind control. Shadow Word Pain comes out and instantly pop the 2/5. That's dead. And he's buffing up Ysera here, and this is going to be nasty. A Nightmare on Ysera for 11-12. Down he goes.
There's nothing more satisfying than using your own dream card on Ysera. And there we have a 2-1 still in favor of Artosis.